How's it going, everyone? So, wanted to kick off the first video on my channel showing just how I journal my ICT trades. And I plan on doing this every single day that I'm available to because I already do this anyway. Just kind of go through my charts, see what trades I took for the day, and then this also allows me to identify what did I miss and maybe why I lost some trades that I did. So, I mainly trade MES and MNQ. I do it through Apex Trading Prop Firm. And so I'm going to start with MES. So I start with the monthly time frame. I sort of go in here and look at what I can see. Sort of mark out this high here as monthly buy side liquidity. Don't see much else on the month that interests me right now. We're going to go to the week. If we look here at the week, we have a nice fair value gap here. I like the fair value gaps that align with previous liquidity. See, if you drew a line out from here, you can see this weekly fair value gap is kind of right in the middle there. So that's a decent target in the future. Mark out weekly fair value gap. Okay. There's also this swing high here for some buy side liquidity that I like. I don't know what happened there, but okay. My current bias is bullish. I would like to see us take out this weekly buy side on MES before going any lower, but I definitely think at some point we're going to go into this weekly fair value gap probably before going to take out this monthly buy side liquidity. So, really, what I'm looking for is: are we going to take out this weekly buy side? If so, do we accelerate through it with displacement? In that case, then I would expect us to hit this monthly buy side pretty quickly and potentially even get up to the all-time highs. So let's lock that. Here, I don't see much else on the weekly that is of immediate interest to me, so I'm going to go to the daily. If we look here, we have a gap. We're going to do it from the close of this candle. Let's make this blue. And the open of this candle. Make that blue as well. And the gap high. Mark this as a daily gap low. Okay, so what else do we see? We have some sell side liquidity down here. And there's our weekly buy side liquidity. We also, let's zoom in a little bit more. See here we have a daily volume imbalance that we've entered into twice now. So based on this candle's reaction and today's reaction off of this daily volume imbalance, and the fact that that volume imbalance is below the 50% mark on the recent daily range. So it's entered into a discount and it's responding well out of that. I would expect it to potentially go up to this weekly buy side here for my target. There's also a volume imbalance here that we want to look at, make sure we can accelerate out through that and maybe use it as support to go and take out this buy side. So let's go down to the hourly. Okay. So we can see here we kind of had this high resistance liquidity run on the hourly going down, taking out sell side here, 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 and entering a discount area of this range. Then we got a nice shift up out of that, entry into this fair value gap, move up higher to take out those recent highs. And now it looks like we're retracing into this whole range. So what we want to do is see how we expand out of this hourly fair value gap. And we also want to mark out these relative equal lows here. Oops. And potentially, if we go down to take out those relative equal lows, I would like it to enter into this hourly fair value gap. Okay, so we also would want to mark out this high, which was the Friday lunch session high. Friday lunch high. And then we have all these relative equal highs here. This was 2 Fridays ago, end of June. This was the PM session high. So if we go up into here, I would really like it to take out these, but potentially if it gets up that high, I would like to see it just get up to that weekly buy side target. Okay. So let's go into the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, we had a fair value gap here and a fair value gap here. All within this hourly fair value gap that I marked earlier, which I'm actually going to delete for right now. Okay. So we can see here that this morning we had displacement before the New York Open. At New York Open, we touched down into this 15-minute fair value gap. Once again, that aligns with liquidity that was taken. There's displacement right here. If you guys don't know what a fair value gap is, I highly suggest you go to the Inner Circle Traders YouTube and watch some of those videos to get familiar with this, because this is solely what I trade. And this is just sort of this is the way that I personally traded. I am not in any way saying that I know more than him. There's a lot that I don't know. So this is just how I journal and, what I do every day in my pursuit of profitability. So let's keep looking though. So out of the 15-minute fair value gap here, we expanded up into this 15-minute fair value gap, which is, let's see if that's in a premium of this recent range. It is clean and clear, that 50% mark. And then we came down to take out sell side liquidity here and re-enter into this 15-minute fair value gap. And this is a 15-minute order block. Why is this an order block? Because it's 2 down close candles prior to taking out some liquidity here. So you want to see what I like to look for is right inside. What I like to look for is kind of the respect of the bodies. So you see these 2 15-minute candles, their bodies respect this order block perfectly, and then it accelerates out of there. So we're going to see how it expands above these highs, these relative equal highs here. And if it respects this fair value gap again, it just digs a little further into it. If not, if we just accelerate out of here, we could then go and take out this high and then potentially get up to our weekly buy side target here. So going down to the 5-minute, you can see this order block transposed on the 5-minute as well as the 15-minute fair value gap. So here was the morning open. We got displacement on the 5-minute. There was, I'm not going to mark that fair value gap, but there was a long entry in here. And that's a lot of risk. So sometimes when I have a displacement that big, right, and the risk to reward's not really there, what I would do is set my entry to align with just above this swing high that was taken out on the market structure shift. So there's an entry there. It goes up to take out that 15-minute fair value gap. Then we shift down here, and we could potentially take this short position. And the risk to reward's not great there, but you could put a stop here just above the open and close of these 5-minute candles that form that swing high there. And you could go down and just take out that morning opening sell side liquidity. As far as the PM session, there's not much that I see here. We didn't respect this fair value gap to go down lower. Not much that I see on the 5 minute here beyond that. So if we look on the 1 minute, here's your entry here. So 1 minute fair value gap here. And we shift up into this 15-minute fair value gap. And then we get a shift down, and then you could take a high risk entry here in this 1 minute fair value gap. And I actually took this trade on, oh, sorry guys. I took this trade on MES in my evaluation account, and I put my stop just above this up close candle here. One tick above, and I targeted this sell side. But what I've been doing recently is I just target 5 points. So I believe I took MNQ, we'll get to that. I took MNQ long for 25 points, cut it at 25 points, and then I took MES and MNQ short. And I cut most of MES at 5 points and then left, I think, 1 or 2 to go down to this sell side target. So that's all I really see. That's the AM session. If we look at the lunch macro from 11:50, let's see, 11:50 to 12:10, we get an entry right in here. Nice candle to go short and dig down into that order block. So we can mark that out. Value gap and go short in here, stop above that candle, up close candles high, and we go down into this order block. During lunchtime, I don't take trades during lunch. Typically with this lunch macro, what I like to see is a reversal and to take out these trailing stops, but it looks like that did happen, but not until we went further down. So we'll just keep going. Out of here, we're going to look for, after we hit this order block, did we get displacement up? Yes, we did here, but there's not really a clean low risk entry. I mean, you could take a long in here with that fair value gap and maybe put a stop here just because this range is so big, and then you could target those highs. That's not a great entry, just because of kind of these choppy candles here. I probably wouldn't have taken that, but it's worth noting here. And then if you look at kind of the rest of the day, I don't really trade PM session that much. So what I try to do is catch this AM session silver bullet move, which was right here, right? 950 to 1010, you're looking for an entry, and you get the entry here when it enters the 1 minute fair value gap, stop down here, reach up into the 15-minute fair value gap. After that, if I hit that trade, I typically stop for the day. Today I took one more additional trade, and then I kind of close the chart. So this is all I'm going to journal on MES today. What I will do is I actually have a PowerPoint presentation. So I typically go to the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and I'll use a snipping tool. And just sort of take a snip of this, and I'll put it into PowerPoint, and I'll write up my notes on this. Let's look at MNQ now. So if we're looking at the monthly chart, here we have a monthly fair value gap. I don't like to draw the rectangles for larger time frame fair value gaps. The only reason is once price gets in there, you're going to have your entire screen essentially that color. So I'll just mark this as a monthly fair value gap high, and I'll also mark monthly fair value gap low to see how we respect those on the lower time frames. got that. And then we have really all-time highs up here. Liquidity. And I mean, we have a monthly fair value gap here, but I don't really expect us to enter that soon. So I would address that maybe next week or closer to the end of the month, or if we start going down significantly. Because I look at all these time frames every single day, and I do this in the morning, and then again in the evening. So I do it in the morning to get my levels, what I'm anticipating price to do, and then I do it uh, usually after 1 p.m. market close, New York close to New York close on the regular stock markets. I do it at the end of the day just to journal my trades, see what actually happened versus what I was anticipating to happen, review any trades that I took. So if we're looking at the weekly, we're respecting that monthly fair value gap pretty well. We took out this high from 28th of March, and I'm just seeing if it aligns with. There we go. So we have SMT on MNQ and MES right now, and MES right here, our monthly buy side liquidity is on the 28th of March. But if we look at MNQ, we already took out that high for the 28th of March. So there's SMT. There's the potential that it could reverse down, but I'm still pretty bullish right now. So if we're looking at the weekly, we have this fair value gap in here. Fair value gap high, and we have weekly fair value gap low. Red, make this line red as well. Okay, so I'll also draw in a line for this weekly liquidity here. Really, I would just target the high of that monthly fair value gap that we haven't hit yet. Okay, so I'm good with that on the weekly. You see we came down, we took out stops, respected this order block, shifted up by taking out that high with some displacement, entered into this fair value gap, shifted up again, entered down into these volume imbalances, and shifted up again. So I'm looking for us to continue higher until maybe if we get displacement below this weekly low right here on this candle, right here on the 26th of June. If we get displacement down, then I might look for retracement into this fair value gap and down here into these down close candles. But until we get a little closer to that, get a little more information, I'm remaining bullish. So we look at the daily, and here we go. We have sell side here, which is just above the consequent encroachment of that weekly fair value gap. So we would like to hit that consequent encroachment here and then see if we can get a move further up. So again, we have this volume imbalance here. Same thing as MES. We want to see it shift above that, come down, maybe use it as support, but we don't want to see it respect that. If we see it respect that, we might get some choppy action and then potentially even shift lower. Come down here. But again, I'm kind of still bullish. I want to take out this high and these highs on MES before really digging down into this. Okay, so now we'll go to the hourly. Once again, here's the fair value gap. Same thing that we had on MES. Took out this sell side liquidity here. Sell side taken. We didn't respect this displacement after taking that sell side. Came up, entered the hourly fair value gap, came back down, took out this sell side, and then moved back up to take out these highs. So let's go into the 15-minute. Mark up that fair value gap. We have another one here. So I'm going to delete this hourly out. I just don't like having all those colors over the price action. So took out the sell side here. Didn't really get a big shift up on MNQ, but then we got a better move up here. No entry provided in here on the 15-minute. Another shift up here. Fair value gap here. Price comes down, enters that fair value gap, goes up, takes the 15-minute fair value gap, immediately comes back down. We had no respect to this 15-minute fair value gap here after taking out London session lows. And then we go up to take out these highs. So potentially aiming, I think it's probably going to enter into here. So let's look at the 5-minute. So this is typically how I trade. I'll put MES on the left-hand side. I'll put MNQ on the right-hand side while the price action's going, and we'll just kind of see if they're aligning. That gives me personally a better entry if they both shift up at the same time. If they're doing the same thing, they both are providing the same entry, right? I can know or have more confidence in the trade that I'm going to take. So this morning at 9:30, they both had entered into this first 15-minute fair value gap. And so if we look here, let's see. Got the lows. Entered those fair value gaps and came down, and then MES just sort of chopped and respected this range while MNQ did not. It took out this whole range here. Okay. So I don't really see much in here on MNQ. I do see here there's displacement below that low. And after entering the 15-minute fair value gap, we got displacement here. Price comes down, enters there, shifts down again, price enters there, chops around, enters this 5-minute fair value gap again before finally coming down, taking out the AM session lows and the London lows. Okay, PM session, we get, is this PM? No, this is right before lunch. Here's another entry that you could have used to go down. So if we go short in here, stop above there, big stop, like that. Could have entered here. I personally don't like taking trades like that. I like them to be fast. You could have done this for 100 points, and you could have taken this trade as well. And you could have just pyramided your position in here. If we look at the 1 minute, look at the 1 minute on both. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to look on MNQ. Took my entry silver bullet long. Where did I take that? Okay, so right in here at open, they both shifted up significantly into this 15-minute fair value gap. I personally wanted this second 15-minute fair value gap before looking for a short. So I was long until we hit this. And I entered MNQ. What time did I enter that? I entered a long just after 7. right in here. So they both come down. MES respected this fair value gap, but MNQ did not. Obviously, it came down much further. MES, I was looking for an entry on MES, but I actually didn't get one in here with these fair value gaps. So I went to MNQ to see if I could get a long in here, and I took this long right here because we had come down, both MNQ, MES, and YM had shifted up, and then we got a long entry right in here. So I took a high risk entry here, and I believe I put my stop right below the low of this fair value gap. So right below that. And I just targeted my 25 points right around that. And you can see here, entered 3 here, all out right here at 25 points profit. And then MES goes higher than MNQ, takes out the highs, enters the second 15-minute fair value gap. So there's SMT here, SMT right there. Kind of SMT. So I use that to determine that MNQ would be weaker to the downside if we got a shift down. So MES entered this fair value gap. MNQ did not. MES went up to the morning high. MNQ did not. So when we got this shift down here, I actually went for an entry right here using this fair value gap, stop above this high, and I also took it on MES as well. So I targeted 5 points on MES, and then I think I left a little less than half my position for another point or two to hit this sell side liquidity. And MNQ, with all this chop and this liquidity being so far away there and here, I just set it to 25 points, cut all 3 contracts at the same time. Cut 1 and then close 2, sorry. So you can see here, MES around 738 or so, entered short here, took 2 off, then 4 off at the target. MNQ entered 3 in here. I had to stop above this up close candle, 1 off at 25 points profit, waited to see what the other 2 did, and just ended up closing them with all this chop, which would have had to take more drawdown if I held them, but eventually would have hit my target. I just like to be in and out. So yeah, that's really it. I would then take a snip of these and put it in a PowerPoint, and I hope it was helpful. It's a lot of information, I know, and this is just what I do every single day to help me along my journey. So reach out if you have any questions, and I will speak with you guys tomorrow. Thank you.